Good morning and welcome. We are so excited to be broadcasting live from our sanctuary today. You may notice a few glitches here and there because we are learning how to do new big things. Thank you, Dan Crimmins and Jim Parks, for producing today's broadcast, and thank you for all those participating in the service. We are grateful to you all. After the service, we'll gather for social time at Community Hour on Zoom. If you do not have the Zoom link, please email me at tlewis@unitytemple.org. And if you'd like more information about our vibrant congregation, you may fill out a visitor form on our website at www.unitytemple.org, or you can email me. Again, my email address is tlewis@unitytemple.org. We hope you enjoy the service.
Good morning. My name is Stephanie Kiesling, and I serve on your Board of Trustees. It is my pleasure to welcome you here this morning, live streaming from our sanctuary. If you are here for the first time, thank you for joining us. We look forward to getting to know you. We invite everyone to join in our Zoom community hour immediately following the service. The link can be found in the e-beacon or our Friday email, or you may send an email to tlewis@unitytemple.org to request a link. Each week, we remind ourselves of our congregation's core values: connection, transformation, justice, and acceptance. Our mission is to embody these core values in our daily lives by welcoming all, inspiring compassion, nurturing wonder, and serving community. A huge thank you to Jim Parks and Dan Crimmins, who have spent many, many hours making this live stream happen. It seems as if you point a camera at us and push play, but that is not at all how it happens. We appreciate all of your hard work. Lastly, a warm welcome to Reverend Don Cooley, our interim minister, who is in our pulpit for the first time this morning. We are so pleased to have you here and look forward to getting to know you. We are so glad that you're here with us today. We hope you have an enjoyable service and find it inspiring and meaningful.
Our chalice lighter this morning is Avery O'Connor. Avery is a STEM honor student who just made the soccer team. These are the words of our chalice lighting. We are Unitarian Universalists. This is the church of the open mind, the loving hearts, and the helping hands. We take care of the planet Earth and each other.
Our call to worship this morning is by the Reverend Sharon Wiley. We speak so often of brokenness in religious life. Let us speak today of wholeness. You are welcome here, all of you, every part of you, beautiful, just the way you are. Here, you do not need to be something more or something less. No holding back, no hiding, no exerting yourself, no trying to do more or be more. You have inherent worth and dignity, nothing to prove here. Nothing to prove to me or to the person sitting next to you or the children or to anyone. You don't have to try and be witty or more quiet or more outgoing. You are beautiful just the way you are, every part of you. You do not need to change anything about yourself to be welcome here. You do not need to change your skin, your hair, your belly, your limbs, your face. All are beautiful just the way they are. You are extraordinary, each and every one of you, different from each and beautiful in your own beautiful way, breathtaking. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your life's journey, and wherever you are in the world, come, let us worship together.
Please join me in the words of our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus we do covenant with each other and with God.
Good morning. Our first hymn today is Rising Green, number 1068 in the Teal hymnal. Follow along if you'd like to. Sing in your homes. Join us. My washing on a far distant sand. Ringing my song is the wind of my breast, and my love blows over the land. And my love, and my love, and my love blows over the land. My foot carries days of the old into new. Our dreaming shows us the way. Wondrous our faith settles deep in the earth, rising green to bring a new day. Rising green, rising green, rising green to bring a new day. Rising green, rising green, rising green to bring a new day.
Holding each other is the time in our service where we pause to share and reflect on the moments of our lives that have moved our spirit throughout this week. As a community whose mission commits us to inspiring compassion in our lives and in our church, we wish to companion you and sit with you in times of joy and sorrow. To share a milestone event in your life with us, please email pastoralassociates@unitytemple.org or reach out to Reverend Dawn, Reverend Emily, or myself. These are the milestones and events that were shared with us this week. This week marks the beginning of the school year for many of our school-aged children, as well as our young adults who are off to college. May they be adaptable, safe, and filled with the love of their Unity Temple community. This week marks the 16th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, just as Hurricane Ida threatens the same Louisiana coastline. May those in the path of this hurricane find safety in the storm's path. Our prayers are with the people of Haiti after the devastating earthquake they experienced and the over 2,000 lives lost in the aftermath. May the memories of those lost bring comfort to those in grief. We hold in our hearts the people of Afghanistan as the United States military makes its withdrawal from the country and the Taliban attempt to return to power. We especially hold the U.S. military service persons who died assisting those trying to flee the country. May peace and justice come to this war-torn country. Let us hold in our hearts each of these joys and sorrows, as well as those unspoken but present in the community, as we enter together into a moment of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life and love, bringer of change. Change is upon us. In truth, it is always near. But in this moment, as we constantly pivot with the news of infection and the desire to stay safe, change and flexibility are calling our names. At this time in Unity Temple's church life, change is especially upon us as we begin interim ministry. Change does not always bring out the best in us. It can cause anxiety, fear, and frustration. Some days we show up just not wanting anything else to be new or changed. In these moments, we ask for grace to adapt, compassion to see each other's struggles, kindness in our responses. And may we always remember that we are not alone on this change journey. We walk beside each other in love that might become a community of love, a beloved community for ourselves, our children, and our world. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
It feels good to be back in this building, and all the time that I've been here at Unity Temple, sometimes I wonder what the building is thinking. And this is a book that is kind of like that. It's called School's First Day of School. It's by Adam Rex, and the pictures are from Christian Robinson. That summer, they dug up the big field and poured the foundation and set brick on top of brick until they had built a school. A sign above the door said, Frederick Douglass Elementary. That's a good name for me, thought the school. Most days, a man named janitor came to mop the school and buff its floors and wash his windows. This is nice, the school said to janitor, just the two of us. Won't be just us for long, said janitor. Soon the teachers will come, and then you'll be filled with children. The school creaked. Children? All kinds of children. They'll come to play games and to learn. Oh, said the school. Will you be here? You'll see me after the school day is over, said janitor. Don't worry. You'll like the children. But the school thought that the janitor was probably wrong about that. Then they came, the children did, and there were more of them than the school could possibly have imagined. They got everywhere. They opened and closed all of his doors and lockers and drank water from his fountains and played on his jungle gym. So that's what that is for, thought the school. Some of the older kids gathered by the school's back fence and showed each other their bored faces. This place stinks, said one, and the school gasped. I hate school, said another, with puffy hair, to the agreement of his friends. The school sagged a little. One very small girl with freckles didn't want to come inside the school at all. Her mother had to carry her. I must be awful, whispered the school to himself. Later, he squirted the puffy-haired kid in the face, then felt bad about it afterwards. He watched the kindergarten kid sit on one of his rugs. The teacher said, as we go around the circle, please tell us your name. There was an Aiden and a Max and a Bella and another Aiden and an Emma and a Caden and a Chloe. The small girl with freckles was next, but she wouldn't speak. She only stared at her shoes until the teacher moved on. I don't like school, she whispered to herself. Well, thought the school, maybe it doesn't like you either. The children were in their chairs finally, but just as the school was starting to relax, his fire alarm sounded, and all the children exited and walked to the other side of the field and stared at him. He was so embarrassed. He held the doors open for them when they returned. "Sorry," he said as the first child entered. "Sorry, sorry, sorry," he told them all, even the little girl with freckles. At 12 o'clock, the school was filled with food. At 12:30, the school was filled with garbage. At one table, a boy told a funny joke, and another boy laughed so hard that milk came out of his nose. "Now I'm covered with nose milk," thought the school. He had to admit that it was a pretty funny joke, though. Even the girl with freckles liked it. After lunch, the kindergarten kids learned about shapes. "A rectangle has 4 sides," said the teacher. 1, 2, 3, 4. "And a square has 4 sides, too. In fact, a square is actually a special kind of rectangle." "Wow," said the school. "I did not know that." Afterward, the children made pictures with glitter and paste. The girl with freckles made a picture of the school. "It looks just like me," thought the school, "except glittery. It's like she's known me all my life." "Do you think I can have your picture?" the teacher asked her. "Don't tell anyone, but I think it's the best." The school thought she was probably right about that. The freckled girl smiled when the teacher stuck her drawing into the school wall with a pushpin. "Ouch," said the school. But he didn't mind, not really. At 3 o'clock, the parents came to pick up the children. At 3:30, janitor came to pick up the school. "I was full of kids," the school told him, "and I heard a joke and I accidentally had a fire drill, but everyone was nice about it, and I listened to a classroom and learned about shapes." "You had a big day," said janitor. "Do you think," the school said, "do you think you could invite everyone to come back tomorrow, especially that little freckled girl?" Janitor nodded. "I'll see what I can do." Later, janitor sat on top of the school and they watched the sun go down. "In the beginning, I didn't know what I was," said the school. "I thought I was your house." "Nope," said janitor. I suppose some other place gets to be your house," the school said. Janitor nodded. "That's true, but you get to be a school. That's lucky." And the school thought he was probably right about that. The end.
Come by the fire, lay down your head. My love, I see you're growing tired, so set the bad day by the bed and rest a while. Your eyes can close. You don't have to do a thing but listen to me sing. I know you miss the world, the one you knew, the one where everything made sense because you didn't know the truth. That's how it works, till the bottom drops out and you learn will not give up on love now. No fear. Don't you turn like Orpheus, just stay here. Hold me in the dark, and when the day appears, we'll say we did not give up on love today. I'll show you good, restore your faith. I'll try and somehow make a meaning of the poison in this place. Convince you love, don't breathe it in. You were written in the stars that we are swimming in, and it has no name, no guarantee. It's just the promise of a day I know that some may never see, but that's enough. If the bottom drops out, I hope my love was someone else's solid ground. Don't stop trying to find me here amidst the chaos. Though I know it's blinding, there's a way out. Say out loud, we will not give up on love now. No fear. Don't you turn like Orpheus, just stay here. Hold me in the dark, and when the day appears, we'll say we did not give up on love today. We'll say we did not give up on love today.
So, one disadvantage to live streaming worship, as opposed to pre-recording it, is that right now I have to pull myself together very quickly after that deeply moving and beautiful song. Thank you, Kelly and Peter, for sharing your gift of music with us today. Thank goodness for waterproof mascara. Hello, friends. It is such an honor to be standing here in this pulpit, in this sanctuary, speaking to you, crying with some of you. I can almost imagine your faces poking up over the pews. I can just about see it. And I love this little spot up here on the sides where you can see what's happening behind the pulpit. You can see all the shifting around that the ministers do. I'm sure for some of you, it's your favorite place to sit. And I'm sure also that, like the school in our message for all ages, this building looks forward to welcoming you back. But you aren't here today, not yet, and won't be for a few more weeks. And when we do finally come back, it's going to be hard in a completely different way. This past year and a half has not gone how we thought it would, has it? Between the pandemic and your minister of 18 years leaving, and the confusion around that. And now this Delta variant, it feels in many ways like the bottom has dropped out. Things are not what we expected. There is chaos all around. But friends, let me tell you, we are not giving up on love today. I see it all around. No, it is everywhere. We are not giving up. You have so much love for this congregation. It has come up time and time again in the conversations that I have been having with you. You love this church, and you love each other. And you miss this church, and you miss each other. And here we are, basically starting to produce a live television show from the sanctuary each week, so that even when we begin coming back in person, we can meet the needs of those of you who can't make it due to distance or weather or health or whatever reason. The number of hours that your volunteers have spent making this possible is daunting. That, my friends, is love in action. The re-envisioning of how to do church during a changing pandemic, that is love in action. The creativity necessary to figure out how to stay connected from our youngest to our elders, that is love in action. Love in action resonates with me because it is at the core of my ministry, and it will be the centering narrative of my ministry with you. I have a whole sermon about my theology of loving the hell out of the world and all the different ways that that can be understood. You will undoubtedly hear a version of it sometime in the next 2 years. But even without explaining it in detail, I think you can get a good idea of the sense of the ideas behind it. This isn't a flighty romantic love that we're talking about. Oh, no, indeed. I believe, and I know many of you do too, that love can make this world a little less hellish, even right now. Especially right now. And I see that love robustly here at work in Unity Temple. It is an honor to be your interim minister for the next 2 years. Now, most of you haven't been at Unity Temple long enough to have experienced an interim ministry. The last one was 19 years ago, after all. It's a unique relationship. Regardless of the circumstances, when a minister leaves, there is grief. Grief over the loss of a beloved minister. Grief over the circumstances of the transition. Maybe grief over how the whole process was handled. Guilt and shame often figure in as well. Did we do the right thing? Why did someone we trusted treat us this way? Why did we wait so long? Why didn't we wait even longer? The end of a ministry, even a wonderful, loving end, like the one that I had at First Unitarian Church after serving in Louisville for 7 years, even a wonderful, loving end has grief. And into that grief, here comes the interim minister for Unity Temple. That's me. Being an interim minister is not for the faint of heart, or so I ascertained many years ago as a lay leader, listening to the interim minister at my beloved congregation. My spouse and I had joined the UU congregation in Reston, Virginia as young professionals. Our children were not even a blip on our radar at the time. We came to church because we wanted a multi-generational community that would challenge us to be better, to live our values with more integrity, to help us think critically about the issues of the day, and give us a place that would encourage us to grow and to change. Needless to say, as child-free young adults in our mid-20s at the time, we were in a unique position in that congregation, and we loved it. We were youth group advisors in the choir on so many committees. I will forever be grateful to the love that that congregation extended to us. But back to that interim minister. He started his first sermon by squaring his shoulders and saying that we might love him or hate him, but he was pre-fired, and so he would speak the truth. Pre-fired, friends. Interim ministers are pre-fired. And tell the truth, he did. He pushed us. He used what I now recognize as a form of tough love, in that he required the congregation to take responsibility for our actions. He helped us to see how the congregation had played a part in the previous minister's leaving, and helped us to own what was ours and what was not. He wasn't as touchy-feely as our previous ministers. His gifts were totally different. Actually, everything about him was totally different. And it was just what we needed to move on and be ready to welcome our next minister, or in that case, co-ministers, something the congregation never would have considered before. Friends, I have been hired as your interim minister. Let me state it unequivocally for you. I am pre-fired. My contract with you ends at the end of July of 2023. During these 2 years, my role is to hold up the mirror so that you can get ready to call your next settled minister. All right, let me back up just a bit, because I have just thrown a bunch of insider language at you. Hired versus called, settled versus contract. These are concepts that we'll get into in more depth in the coming months, but let me explain a little bit briefly. In our faith tradition of Unitarian Universalism, each congregation chooses how to govern themselves. This is called congregational polity. Polity basically just means governance. And one of the most important and sacred aspects of congregational polity is the right of the congregation to choose whomever you want as your next minister. When a congregation calls a minister, it creates a covenant with that minister. I both love and hate using the metaphor of marriage here. It isn't a marriage, but marriage is the ongoing covenantal relationship that most people are familiar with. So in that ways, it's not unlike a marriage. Once the minister has been called by the congregation, which requires a vote of the congregation because democracy, that minister is said then to be settled. The relationship between a settled minister and a congregation continues until either the congregation or the minister or both are ready to end it. Again, using the metaphor of marriage, divorce is never easy, even if it is clearly the right decision. Friends, you have just ended an 18-year settled ministry. It is bound to be hard. And this transition, this change was welcome to some of you and very unwelcome to others of you. You are not all on the same page. Some of you are deep in grief and others are chafing at the bit, wondering what's coming next. And that's okay. We'll work through it. As an interim minister, I am not called by this congregation. I was hired by your board, kind of like a consultant. Interim ministry is a form of transitional ministry, meaning that those of us who are in this role serve congregations that are in transition from one settled ministry to the next. We have a defined set of tasks to accomplish in a defined time frame. You don't have an open-ended covenant with me, but a time-limited contract. Now, some folks have used the metaphor of a rebound relationship to describe interim ministry. if a rebound relationship had a clear contract, I guess. And I don't know about you, but my rebound relationships were never terribly healthy, though I did usually come out of them healthier and stronger than I was going in. I share this completely imperfect and in many ways inappropriate metaphor with you because interim ministers are often asked if we can stay and become the congregation's next settled minister. The short answer is no, but I recently heard a colleague of mine give an answer that made me laugh, and so I offer this to you as well. You aren't supposed to marry your rebound. The role of an interim minister is very different than that of a settled minister. I will be holding up a mirror so that you can see yourself and you can decide what you want to work on to get ready for your next settled minister. Right now, I am spending time getting to know you as a congregation, as individuals, as a system. I'm listening for patterns. I'm looking for areas of health and for your growing edges. I'm digging into your history and asking some uncomfortable questions. I will take everything that I have learned and heard and analyze it, and sometime late this fall, present to the board what is called an interim ministry roadmap that will highlight what I think that the congregation should focus on in the remainder of our time together. Friends, I love analysis. It utilizes all my education and my life experience and is like putting together a 5,000-piece puzzle that is all one color, moving pieces around and fitting them together and being able to pick up that piece I saw a few minutes ago because now I know just where it fits. Part of what will be in the interim ministry roadmap is what I recommend the next steps will be in regard to your next ministry. Will it be to form a search committee and start looking for your next settled minister? Or maybe it will be to hire another type of transitional minister called a developmental minister to dig deep into an area of growth that is beyond the scope of our interim time together. A developmental minister usually stays with a congregation for about 3 years. During that time, both congregation and minister work really hard on a specific set of predetermined goals defined by the congregation. For example, congregations building a new building might hire a developmental minister to get them through that change, and then call a settled minister once they have moved into the new place. That specific example isn't applicable here, but there are many reasons a congregation might choose to hire a developmental minister. At this point, 29 days into my ministry with you, I don't know where we will end up on developmental or settled ministry. I am starting to get an inkling for some things you will probably want to work on in this interim period, like firming up your governance style, becoming more equitable in your relationship with your employees. And I've seen some small church culture things that don't really serve you well now that you're a large church. You will hear more about all of this in the coming months. Being pre-fired gives me the freedom to speak the truth to you, especially when it's hard. And I pledge to you that I will always speak that truth in love, because I love church as an institution. And I want Unity Temple Unitarian Universalist congregation to be as healthy a congregation as you can be, because I want you to be the flagship Unitarian Universalist congregation I know you can be, the congregation that this community desperately needs you to be. Because I want your next settled ministry to be successful and productive. And because truly, I already love you. I already love you so much that I will joyfully companion you and minister with you through what is going to be hard. I love you so much that I will be honest and transparent with you. Transitions, even welcome ones, are difficult. They always involve some sort of loss, but we will journey together through this pandemic, through this ministerial transition, through all the ups and downs that the coming months will bring. And we won't give up on love. Love for each other. Love for this congregation. Love for our shared faith as Unitarian Universalists. Our love will carry us through to a new day. Of that, I have no doubt. May it be so. Each week, we give our Sunday collection to an organization that aligns with our values. This Sunday's collection will support our member dues to the Unitarian Universalist Association, serving the needs of member congregations, including innovative resources for worship, learning, and justice. Unity Temple has benefited from our relationship with the UUA this past year through the support of the Reverend David Pyle to engaging in the ministerial transition process. And I guarantee we will be getting more deeply connected to the UUA in the coming months of this interim time together. You may donate by sending a check to the Unity Temple office with UUA on the memo line or by following the instructions on your screen. May what you give bring you joy.
Please join us by singing or in your heart our second hymn, 1064, in the Teal hymnal, Blue Boat Home.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim soul, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sigh my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
wide universe is the ocean we are traveling. Together, we will pass through storms. There will be times when no wind fills our sails, and there will be many, many adventures and probably more than a fair bit of chaos. We will be imperfect. We will fail each other. At times, it will feel like all we can do is keep breathing. But we won't give up. I look forward to traveling with you for a time as together we make our way by the lights of the heavens. In this beloved congregation, may you always know that you are lovable and that indeed you are loved. And may you carry that love out into the world as a blessing. Blessed be.
The storm is coming, but I don't mind. People are dying. I close my blinds. All that I know is I'm breathing now. I want to change the world, and instead I sleep. I want to believe in more than you and me, but all that I know is I'm breathing. All I can do is keep breathing. All we can do is keep breathing. Now, all that I know is I'm breathing. All I can do is keep breathing. All we can do is keep breathing. All we can do is keep breathing. All we can do is keep breathing.